Welcome to Pueblo, Colorado, in the campus of Colorado State Pueblo for this Winter Sports Championship edition of the RMAC Showcase. This month we crowned several conference champions, including right here in the women's basketball tournament. Pueblo has been the juggernaut all year. Will that hold up, or will someone come up and surprise? Just up the road in Golden, the Colorado School of Mines earned the right to host the men's basketball tournament. We'll see if the Ore Diggers can protect their home floor. Those stories and so much more are just around the corner on this month's edition of the RMAC Showcase. The CSU Pueblo women won the conference tournament title 1 year ago on this very floor, and since then have won 27 of their 30 games, leading up to yet another Final Four on their home floor. Hello everyone, I'm Jason Carter, your hostess. We give you a complete rundown of all of the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference Winter Team Champions. We'll get to the women in just a minute, but we'll begin with the men, where the Colorado School of Mines won the regular season crown and earned the right to host the conference tournament. Brandon Applehands joins us for the first time with a complete look at the men's tournament from Golden, Colorado.
Men's basketball in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference has seen a competitive spike this year. With the quarterfinal matchups being decided in the final minutes, the stage is set for a historic finish. Will the Skyhawks go back-to-back, or will there be a new sheriff in town? Welcome into Lock Ridge Arena, home of the 2017 RMAC Men's Basketball Tournament. The Skyhawks and Cougars would meet in the semifinals of the RMAC tournament. Two RMAC teams built on offensive firepower. Fort Lewis led early in the game. That was until CCU's Dimitri Saliba caught fire, hitting back-to-back triples. The Cougars entered halftime with a 45-41 lead. In the second half, it was the Semedeni and Blaylock show, as Alex Semedeni ended the game with 21 points and 6 assists, and Joshua Blaylock with 13 points, 4 assists, and 6 boards. The Skyhawks would advance to the RMAC Championship, awaiting the winner of MSU Denver and Colorado Mines. The Ore Diggers and Roadrunners would meet for the second time in the past week. Making a statement from the jump, MSU Denver's Sunday Detch would score the team's first 13 points. The run by MSU Denver was quickly countered by Colorado Mines' Gokul Natason, reeling off 12 first-half points. The Ore Diggers led by just 1 point with 12 minutes remaining. Mines' Luke Schrepfer went 3 of 5 from downtown, putting the game in the bag and guaranteeing a rematch of last year's tournament championship with Fort Lewis. Con Korkmaz led the way for Colorado Mines, going 4 for 4, scoring 11 first-half points. Teammates Rasmus Bach and Joshua Blaylock accounted for 28 points in the second half. The Skyhawks led by 9 points with 2:46 remaining in regulation. The game would play out like a blockbuster fight, with Blaylock and Natason going back and forth. With 2 seconds left, redshirt sophomore Ben Clare would hit 2 clutch free throws to keep the Ore Diggers' hopes alive. Luke Schrepfer notched 10 points for the Ore Diggers in overtime, with Natason sealing the game with 2 free throws. Colorado School of Mines went on to beat the Skyhawks, claiming the RMAC tournament trophy on their home court.
I mean, I can't be more proud of these guys and what they showed. They just persevered through it, and we had some adversity there, and I just can't be more proud of this team and what they've accomplished.
Colorado Mines and Fort Lewis would continue the journey in the South Central Region Tournament, with the Ore Diggers grabbing the #1 spot and Fort Lewis the #5 seed. The Ore Diggers took on Arkansas's Fort Smith in the first round, defeating the Lions 90-79. The Skyhawks would enter the first round of play as the underdog, taking on #4 ranked Tarleton State. The winner would go on to play Colorado Mines in the semifinals. Joshua Blaylock ended with a game-high 36 points, going 13 of 16 from the charity stripe. Fort Lewis would advance, playing Colorado Mines for the 3rd time in just 8 games.
We just kept battling, kept sticking in it. And I told the guys if we can get it to the last 10 minutes because of the elevation, we thought we had a really good chance to win the game.
The stage was set. Colorado Mines and Fort Lewis. the winner advancing to the South Central Region Championship. From the start, Colorado Mines dominated the game. Inserted into the starting lineup was Adam Lane for the Ore Diggers. Lane notched 13 points on 6 of 8 shooting. 5 Ore Diggers finished in double figures, advancing Colorado Mines into the championship game, taking on West Texas A&M. Ben Sonnefeld and seniors Natason and Schrepfer would lead the triumph, bringing home a victory for Colorado Mines in the South Central Region championship game. On a pair of free throws, Natason went into the Ore Digger record books, having scored his 2,000th career point. Colorado Mines defeated West Texas A&M 88-63, cutting down the nets for the final time in Lockbridge Arena.
The second half, Schrupp got going. You know, he just got in that zone where he felt that he wasn't going to be guarded, could not be guarded. Now he's just taking it to another level. So I just can't say enough. It was just another team performance.
You get in a zone sometimes, and you just know that if you get space and you're in rhythm, it's just going to go in no matter what, and there's not much the other team can do about it.
No, that was probably like the best moment in my college career. I mean, you know, all the things that, you know, happened today, just, you know, us, you know, throughout the season, you know, us winning the RMAC championship, RMAC tournament, hosting the region, and, you know, with the game basically out of reach, you know, knowing that you're going to win the regional championship, and then on top of that, getting 2,000, and, you know, in front of a packed crowd, you know, that was, you know, pretty emotional moment for a lot of people.
In the Elite Eight, the Ore Diggers fell to number 2 ranked Bellarmine, 92-72. For RMAC basketball coverage, I'm Brandon Applehands for the RMAC Showcase.
That does it for the first segment in this winter sports edition of the RMAC Showcase. When we come back, it's the ladies' turn. Will the top-ranked Thunderwolves add yet another trophy to their case, or will someone finally unseat them? Find out after this timeout. Welcome back to Pueblo, Colorado, and the campus of Colorado State University Pueblo. The CSU Pueblo women's basketball team began the year by winning 24 straight games before they did lose twice towards the end of the year on the road in the last couple weeks of the season. But here at home, they haven't lost on this floor in over a year. The first semifinal matched up 2-seed Colorado Mesa with 3-seed UCCS. Neither team shot the ball particularly well, but Aaron Ritchie's 17 points was a highlight for Mesa as they had to claw out of a hole the entire game. The Mountain Lions seniors weren't going to let that happen, though. Jen Vigil dropped in a game-high 18, including these two off a nice spin move. UCCS really won it on the defensive end. They had 7 blocks and 6 steals as a team. Brittany Hernandez had 3 of those blocks herself as the UCCS ladies advanced to the RMAC championship game for the first time in school history, 63-51. The second semifinal featured the top-seeded CSU Pueblo ladies against 4th-seeded Regis. The Rangers did very little wrong in this one, hitting the offensive boards Kaylee Rader with 2 of her 14. She got plenty of help from her guards, Mary Sigler off the screen. She hit 6 three-pointers on her way to a game-high 23 points. Regis was up 18 at one point, but the Pack mounting a comeback. They got it all the way down to 2. Molly Rohr had a team-high 19, but it wasn't enough as Regis holds on and upsets CSU Pueblo on their home floor, 77-71. So UCCS and Regis in the championship game. This one was all about the Mountain Lions. They trailed for a total of 9 seconds in the entire game, and Ashweki had 8 points in just 9 minutes of play. The only person with more for the Mountain Lions was Brittany Hernandez, who finished with 17 and 8 rebounds as she was named tournament MVP in helping the University of Colorado, Colorado Springs to their first ever RMAC tournament title in women's basketball. Amy Gill has a look at the regional.
UCCS took on Eastern New Mexico, where the RMAC tournament MVP Brittany Hernandez recorded an unforgettable performance, notching 20 points, 5 rebounds while making her presence felt on the defensive end. Senior Tori Fisher would finish with a double-double, scoring 17 points while skying for 11 boards. UCCS would advance to the semifinals, dominating Eastern New Mexico 89-73. The next quarterfinal matchup had the number 1 seeded Thunderwolves taking on a Tarleton State team that packed the house on the road. The Pack would come out on fire, having 3 players score in double figures. CSU Pueblo would hold a lead late in the game, backed behind a team-high 15 points by Tula Sue Anderson. The Pack would advance to take on the winner of our next game between Regis and West Texas A&M. The Rangers would have to rely on their shooting ability and senior center Kaylee Rader to hang with the Buffaloes. On her way to yet another double-double, Rader would lead the team with 10 rebounds, including 8 on the offensive end. Majesty Robinson scored a team-high 16 points while adding 4 assists along the way. The Rangers trailed most of the game, making a late comeback in the final minutes. But when the clock struck triple zeros, the Rangers came up short, falling to West Texas 75-67. Moving to day 2 of the tournament, the semifinals would prove to be the final day of competition for the RMAC teams. UCCS took on Angelo State, where 2 Mountain Lion seniors, Tori Fisher and Jen Vigil, stepped up to the challenge, both finishing in double figures. Fisher had a game-high 24 points, 11 rebounds. The Mountain Lions could not continue their hot shooting streak, ending their season in an 86-81 loss versus Angelo.
The seniors in particular were extremely coachable. We did a lot of things different this year, and we asked them to do some crazy things that weren't necessarily the traditional way to play, and they accepted that.
As for CSU Pueblo, the Thunderwolves took on West Texas A&M. Despite some shooting woes early, the Pack found the bottom of the net on a few triples to claw their way back in the game. West Texas A&M's star guard, Sasha Watson, would hit a pair of free throws, putting the Pack down by as many as 10 points. CSU Pueblo, backed behind the senior performance of guard Jazim Johnson, would carve their way back in. The Thunderwolves would force overtime against the Buffaloes, but in the end, the Pack would fall in the semifinals, 70-67.
We know what we need now. You know, we're happy for 28-4, but we want to win a national championship, and we just got to get a little bit bigger and a little bit stronger.
For the RMAC Showcase, I'm Amy Gill.
Congratulations to all the RMAC teams who advanced to the national tournament and represented the conference nicely. Now we've completed our look at basketball. We'll switch our attention to swimming. Cal Baptist absolutely dominated the women's meet. Brandon Applehands returned again with a look at the men's side of the competition from Grand Junction, Colorado.
The 2017 RMAC Swimming and Diving Championships took place at Colorado Mesa. The Mavericks entered championships with a chip on their shoulder, trying to rival powerhouse California Baptist. Held in Grand Junction, the 4-day championship event highlighted some record-breaking performances.
We are!
After day 1, Oklahoma Baptist made their presence felt at the championship event. The Bison led by just 1 point after the first day of competition. New to OBU was Felipe Ramirez. In the 100-meter butterfly, Ramirez would take the individual title.
I came last year to OBU. I'm from Colombia, and this is my first real big meet with the college. So I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited about this year.
OBU's lead would be short-lived, as the home crowd favorite, Colorado Mesa, would answer the call, as the Mavericks were led by Sam Bryant. Bryant was just 0.02 of a second away from tying his very own record in the 400 IM. The first place finish was of no surprise to Bryant.
This team we have in 2017 is a completely different team than we had last year. It's just so much faster and it's so much more focused because last year we did lose by 1 point, and it's not going to happen again.
Enter California Baptist. The Lancers made a statement in the 200-meter freestyle event as CBU swept the top 3 spots. Placing 4 Lancers in the top 5, California Baptist was in the hunt for first place. With CBU battling back, Bryant had to will his team back in. In his home natatorium, Bryant broke the pool and RMAC record in the 500-meter freestyle. Julian Goyeche of Oklahoma Baptist stood alongside teammate Felipe Ramirez in the 100-meter backstroke. Only this time on the podium, Goyeche took the number 1 spot. On the men's 1-meter board, the champion was Oklahoma Baptist's very own Otto Lehtinen, who captured the title for the Bison and was named the RMAC Men's Diver of the Meet. In the final day of competition, the Mavericks would hold on to their lead, bringing the trophy to Grand Junction.
I didn't have to do a lot in the way of motivation, just help get them physically ready, and mentally they pulled together like I've never seen. It was awesome.
It was an event decided by seconds, but in the end, Colorado Mesa takes the championship in front of the home crowd. In Grand Junction, I'm Brandon Applehands for the RMAC Showcase.
That brings us to halftime of this edition of the RMAC Showcase. When we come back, Golden was home to yet another big meet, this time for some of the top wrestlers in the country. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 2.5 minutes. Welcome back to the Steel City, otherwise known as Pueblo, Colorado, for this month's edition of the RMAC Showcase. I'm Jason Carter. You know, in last month's showcase, we had CSU Pueblo's wrestling team winning their first conference title since 2001. As Brandon Applehands explains, the Thunderwolves had a great chance to add a regional championship to that resume as they, along with every other RMAC school, took part in the Western Regional Wrestling Tournament located at the Colorado School of Mines.
The NCAA Super Regional Wrestling Championships took place in Golden, Colorado at the Colorado School of Mines. The two-day event showcased some nationally ranked talent, all trying to punch a ticket to the big show. The D2 Super Regional starts now. The Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference was heavily represented at the tournament. Western State clinched 4 spots to nationals, with Ronald Wardley taking second at 129. The number 10th ranked wrestler, Brandon Supernaw, faced off against California Baptist Nolan Kistler. Kistler took down the ranked opponent in a 10-3 regional title win.
Yeah, it's huge. Last year I think we had 5, so we gained 2 more. And these guys are all tough. They're my brothers. We're all going to fight hard. Just because we won this, we're not going to stop at that. We're going to give it our all here at Nationals and keep running forward.
As for the 2016-17 RMAC Wrestling Champions, CSU Pueblo's Kyle Fenton had to go the distance and wrestle 3 times Saturday, punching a ticket to Nationals. Jacoby Jones took second at 165, and P.T. Garcia took first after a medical forfeit in the title match. Javon Perkins faced off against California Baptist Nick Fanger. It was a nationally ranked matchup with Perkins at 4 and Fanger at number 3. Fanger would find the edge against Perkins, winning the 184 regional title. The 184 champion clinched yet another national spot for the Lancers. Colorado Mines' Jacob Gherkin finished as the runner-up at 149. Chadron States' Chance Helmick and California Baptist Peter Cunningham would each take third in their individual weight class, both advancing to nationals. In the final matches, the number 1 ranked wrestler in Division II, Jacob Waste, took the match at 197. Waste took control of the bout early, winning the 3rd regional title for the Lancers. In the heavyweights, Paul Head would finish off the comeback win against Chadron States' Cooper Cogdill. Head was the 7th qualifying wrestler for the Lancers, marking a program record. California Baptist was named the 2016-17 South Central Region team champion.
Winning this is big, really big. But to get 7 guys through, it's our school record, actually. And yeah, it's just amazing. Maybe the best overall team performance ever at CBU.
For me personally, it was a big win. My bracket was 1, 2, and 3 in the country. So it's a loaded bracket, and to be able to come out on top is a great feeling. And again, it's just a stepping stone towards nationals.
At the D2 National Wrestling Championship, 6 RMAC wrestlers earned All-American honors. California Baptist Jacob Waste stood at the top of the podium once again, as Waste was crowned the 197-pound national champion. With Waste winning at 197, the individual title marks 2 national champions for CBU in the last 2 years. California Baptist took 3rd place overall, as the Lancers head coach Lenny Zaleski was named the Division II Wrestling Coach of the Year. For RMAC Wrestling, I'm Brandon Applehands for the RMAC Showcase.
We're coming down the home stretch of this show. Only 1 segment left, and it's everybody's favorite as we take a look at the top 5 plays from around the conference. Don't go anywhere. One final time from Masari Arena here on the campus of CSU Pueblo. You know, Brandon Applehands, who's really been carrying the load through this show, joins us one final time to look at the top plays from around the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference.
Welcome back to this month's edition of the RMAC Top 5. You're about to witness some of the best plays inside the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. I'm Brandon Applehands, and welcome into the RMAC Top 5, brought to you on Altitude Sports. For the number 5 spot this month, we take you to Westminster College Westminster's Zarian Payton gets the and one opportunity trying to pull off a 14-point comeback in the second half. It was senior night, the crowd was amped up. What a perfect ending to the night. But with just 10 seconds left, someone else saw a different ending to the game. Say hi to Brandon Sly. He's not a fan of senior nights. Sly shoots from way behind the arc. Nothing but net. If you're wondering how Fort Lewis made it to the semis, well, you just have to check out the number 4 play. The UCCS Mountain Lions took on the number 21 ranked Skyhawks. This shot right here went down for the biggest Mountain Lion lead, being 17 in the first half. When you have the RMAC Player of the Year and Joshua Blaylock on your team, anything seems possible. No one could check the senior that night. Fort Lewis erases a 17-point deficit, advancing to the semifinals of the RMAC tournament. At number 3, this man is lightning fast. The Grizz showed out in the 3,000-meter race. Adams State led the entire race as Sydney Gedabadai kept the pace and carved out a monumental lead. Sydney and the Grizzlies are just acting like it's another day at practice out in Alamosa. The defending RMAC champ took home yet another 3,000-meter crown, while 2 other Grizzlies filled out the podium. In the RMAC, you should know one thing for starters. There's a guy named Jake Berard. Berard took the number 2 spot. The mid for Westminster College scored 5 goals this weekend, including this face dodge as the Griffins defeated number 18 Rockhurst. Cuts right up the middle, strong dodge to the right, and an easy finish. We take you to the last goal. Game's tied 13-13. Berard with the step down. Game over. Now for the number 1 play. Do you remember the 2016 RMAC Softball Tournament MVP? Well, here she is. Cassidy Smith is the name, and she pulled off some trickery this weekend. Talk about having your teammates back. At first you think Brooke Lovas has it? Smith is like Dash from The Incredibles. She's everywhere at once. She's got it. Smith gives a chuckle, but you gotta wonder what she's telling Lovas over there. Thank you for watching this month's edition of the RMAC Top 5. I'm Brandon Applehands, and have a great month, everyone.
That does it for yet another edition of the RMAC Showcase. Thank you so much to Brandon for all of his hard work this month, and a big thank you also to CSU Pueblo for being such gracious hosts. Next month, we'll come to you from Salt Lake City and the campus of the newest member of the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference, Westminster. For everyone here at the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference, I'm Jason Carter. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you right back here next month.